Welcome back live to Colts Draft Central, everybody. This NFL draft turned into a Sweet 16 party for Indianapolis. We heard talk about them possibly trading up, but even with the 16th pick in the first round, they got a guy they wanted and a guy they needed in California wide receiver Sean Dawkins. And this guy has just about everything you could ask for in a receiver. He is 6'3", 213 pounds, timed at 4.54 in the 40. He doesn't have track guy speed, he says, but he is quick and a big play receiver. Among his Pac-10 leading 65 catches as a junior were 14 touchdowns. The Colts were very happy to see that. Now, they thought about trading up, of course, as we said, but they were real happy to catch this guy where they did.
He has good speed, he has good hands, he's tough, he has good quickness. He's a high-character kid. We've interviewed him, and that's exactly what we're looking for as far as a receiver is concerned. Plus, he has the size that that many times you don't get in a receiver. That those guys come up with a few catches that the other guys don't get.
Well, I like the fact that he's been in a throwing offense. I think, again, a young man coming out of college sometimes has to adjust to the things that we see in the National Football League. But Sean's had an excellent training at the University of California, and I think this will help him coming into the league.
And with the Colts' second-round pick overall, the 49th overall, which they traded with Pittsburgh to get, they took Northeast Louisiana fullback Roosevelt Potts, 6 foot, 258 pounds, and interestingly enough, his agent is Ted Marchibroda Jr. That should be an interesting negotiation. Now, they have a pick in each of the last 5 rounds, 2 in the 4th tonight and 2 in the 6th. Thanks to a couple of trades. The 6th round will be tomorrow, of course, when they do rounds 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, quickly, let's take a look at the first round of the draft. Actually, it might take a little bit longer than it took to actually play this draft, which was 5 hours. Drew Bledsoe goes first to New England. Rick Meyer from Notre Dame went to Seattle. The Cardinals traded up, swapped spots with the Jets to get Garrison Hurst, and that left Marvin Jones for the Jets. On the second 5, Eric Curry goes to Tampa Bay. Lincoln Kennedy, the big offensive tackle, goes to Atlanta. And a guy that the Colts really would have loved to have, Jerome Bettis, the fullback out of Notre Dame, fell to the Rams. A couple of other guys the Colts were looking at. Dan Williams from Toledo went to Denver. Brad Hopkins, the offensive lineman from Illinois, went to Houston. And linebacker Wayne Simmons from Clemson went to Green Bay. Continuing on, we see Sean Dawkins. Tom Carter, another Notre Damer, went to Washington, the 17th spot. Moving ahead now to picks 21 through 25. Robert Smith from Ohio State came out early and goes to Minnesota with pick 21. O.J. McDuffie from Penn State goes to Miami with the 25th pick. And closing out the first round, the 49ers took a couple of defensive players, Dana Stubblefield and Todd Kelly, and George Teague, the star of the Alabama defense that won the national title for the Crimson Tide in the Sugar Bowl, goes to Green Bay with the 29th and final pick of the first round. Now, tickets for the Pacers' first-round playoff series against the New York Knicks go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at Market Square. That is where last night they beat the Miami Heat 94-88 to get into the playoffs for the 4th straight year. Remember it? Now, Vern Fleming was the big man last night with a career-high tying 31 points, bad back and all. Made the steal there and scored to put Indiana up by 5 late. And then Reggie Miller, only 2 of 13 from the field last night, but he gets the bucket and the foul. Pacers won 94-88 to get into the playoffs, but no, people aren't giving them too much of a chance against those Knicks.
The history of the series this year, they got us once really good in New York. The other games, I think we lost by 4. They were close. We were right there, except for one game. Then we beat them in one. So it's not like they've dominated us.
60 wins on the year, got their 60th today by beating the Bulls in a meaningless game, really. Michael Jordan loses it there. John Starks to Patrick Ewing, who had 22. Jordan, though, finished with 21. Here he gets 2, falling down and putting it back in. The Knicks, only the 34th team in history to win 60 games in an NBA season. Ewing, of course, had 22. Starks also 22, 89-84. They get the Pacers Friday night. On the scoreboard, Boston over Washington, 106-94. The Cavs beat Philly. Jersey loses to Detroit. Michael Williams, remember me, used to play for the Pacers, set an NBA record with his 79th straight made free throw in Minnesota's win over Utah. Finished the season with 84 straight, in Golden State over Seattle, 119-109. Well, it was win or else time for the Ice today at Market Square. Down 3-1 in their IHL playoff series with the Atlanta Knights. They skated to the brink of elimination in front of a rousing crowd of 2,000 at Market Square. Now, Brad Lauer and Tony Herkus had been scoreless so far in the playoffs. They hooked up for a couple of goals. This one in the third period today broke a 3-all tie. It was 4-3. The Ice had a 5-3 lead in the third, but they blew it. Brent Gretzky had 2 goals and assisted on the gamer. 8:53 into overtime by Herb Raglan. 6-5. The Knights win it to take the series 4 games to 1, and like I always say, once a nice man, always a nice man, but once a night is enough. Now, if you will join us tonight at 10 and 11, we'll have more on the NFL Draft and the day in sports, and with Ed Sorensen, of course, on Sports Nuts after the news at 11 o'clock. For now, I'm Ken Tomash from NFL Draft Central here at the Colts Complex. Greg, back to you.
All right, Ken.